What's up, guys? We got Rory here. Got my boy Wombology. We're gonna go through all the drafts of DPL. Talk to the people, Womba.
What's up, guys? Wombo here. Today we're going to be going over the DPL drafts. We're starting off with the TTT, Temporal Tower Titans. Let's see what their Sword Shield 1 has to offer.
Yes. So, I'm gonna take a look right here on screen and see. We're gonna go through each of the teams, starting with Sword and Shield, seeing how they break down, what potential matchups could be scary for them at a high level, and just things that we've seen over, just seeing a whole bunch of different teams and seeing what weaknesses and strengths they are and how formidable the team is. So, I'm gonna start with the TTT team here. So, if there's any first impressions, just definitely shout them out. Starting with Sword and Shield 1, I think the first thing I look for is always speed tears. Those are pretty balanced. I think very interesting they have the Hitmonlee Unburden situation going. I think that's pretty cool. I think Corsola is never going to come to a game, personally. I think Tapu Fini and Zapdos always does defensively what Corsola just does worse. So I think that's a wasted pick, personally. But besides that, I think everything's pretty good, checks out, as far as like what you want in a team. I think knockoff support is a little weak. I think you want good knockoffers in this gen, and only Knocker Hitmonlee is a little questionable, but...
Yeah, it's got Zam and Fini, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, you don't really want to have those. But yeah, I mean, it's an overall solid team. Knock is just like a thing you want to have.
I rate highly Zapdos and Alakazam. They're two of the best mons in Sword and Shield. However, if you round it off with Corsola, Corsola's not really a good mon. What else we got here? We got...
Yeah, I get why they did it, because...
Stunfisk on this draft. You already got a Zapdos to all the Kogos and to all the Tornadus, You don't need a Stunfisk.
I think Stunfisk is definitely a little superfluous, but they are like fine against ground and water with the Fini. So I think the one problem with Stunfisk, and I think I remember because I was considering Stunfisk Fini, is that Stunfisk relies heavily on status. So you kind of put yourself in the bad situation. But
why do you think they grabbed Corsola anyways? What are they particularly weak to?
I think they're weak to fighting types. But one thing you'll hear me mentioning throughout this draft is that because there's no Megas and there's no Urshifu. There's no reason to draft like fighting type checks. Like you want to draft like good defensive checks.
I mean, they have Zapdos and Fini.
Yeah, and you already had that. So I think Corsola was a completely.
No. They don't have a normal tip switch. Look at their team versus Zangoose.
That's what it is. Fuck, you got me. Yeah, so I would say overall the first 7 mons were really smart picks. The 8th pick was probably a waste of space. Sword and Shield 2. I'd say.
That looks like an AI built I drafted.
I think Victini is a really good wall breaker. I mean, yeah, wings. I mean, it has double wings. It's triple wings, a lot of wings.
Triple wings, yeah. That's my advice.
If I like Thundurus in the sense that you don't have to rely on it as being your wings. I think Blastoise is good, but not on a team with Clefable and Corviknight. The idea with Blastoise with Flip Turn is you want it to bring it. Like the only reason it's viable in Gen 8 is to Flip Turn and bring other stuff in. I don't think setup is ever going to be viable.
Shell Smash?
I don't think.
I like the Shell Smash.
I just think it's underwhelming, and also I'd rather like Nasty Plot with Thundurus or like Nasty Plot with Moltres or, I mean I guess it's the only stuff they really have. I mean, it could work. It's funky, but it could work, I guess.
Who used this team? Was it Amo?
I didn't see any of the games yet. I'm trying to like analyze like any like pre games.
Yeah, that's true. Let's do like pre-game.
Yeah. So okay. So sort of, but yeah, overall solid. Speed tiers are fine. I think triple wings.
I don't like Mudsdale as a mon. I prefer Syndicanda.
Yeah. The problem, the thing that's tough with the ground type is you got to make sure they're not weak to Grass Knot or they're just not Coco Zeraora checks. I think Mudsdale definitely 120 base power. So like a Calm Mind Zera just absolutely runs.
7 points of Mudsdale,
dude. Calm Mind.
Better and cheaper.
Calm Mind Zeraora just absolutely runs through this team, or even with knockoff or something. So like, it's a little concerning, and like they're only electric. They don't have a grass type, so it's their only electric response. So like,
they lose to CM Zera.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good team, but every team's gonna have their weaknesses. I think when you have like Moltres and Mudsdale, like several traditional mons, you're gonna be like weak to stuff. So I think it's an okay team. I could see this team being benched very frequently.
I'll give it an A+ for the Moltres.
Yeah.
Okay, B-.
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Alright, so we got another Zarude team here.
No, there's a Zarude team. I like a Zarude Heatran team. Yes.
How boring, dude.
Yeah, Zarude, Heatran, Stunfisk, and useless 8th mon. Four very similar mons. The difference is this being a Zapdos. I don't love the two best mons being weak. Well, 3 of the best 4 mons being weak to the same type. I think this team is smashed by Kyurem. I don't think Porygon is a check to it, and I think Primarina is freeze dry. So I mean,
Yeah.
you'd have to run like some bullshit like AV Mienshao, which can work, but
Yeah, that can work. My child's still good. They have two my childs towards you.
yeah, they do. I mean, Mienshao's good. I mean, close combat over high jump kick is still good for it, and Regenerator is broken as
I
well.
think that this would be my favorite team so far. Their Sword Shield 3.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think it's a little ice weak, but there's not too many
They
scary.
got Alakazam. They got.
I don't think there's that many Alakazams drafted. Oh yeah, so I think it's okay. I agree. I think it's the best team so far. I think speed tiers are no fastest Mon Lottie. Fastest Mon Lottie is not ideal, but
Oh, that's true.
it's okay. It's workable. I think it's definitely not a positive, but like sometimes the fast Mons in this gen specifically, because no hidden power for Electrode and stuff, pretty trash. So I mean, I get it if you can't have it, but like I think that plus no priority is a little concerning. So I'd still give it like an A. I'd still give it an A.
Fake out my chef.
Fake out Mienshao? Yeah, I mean, that's not real though.
Aquajet Korean.
So Sword and Shield 4. Rillaboom Weavile is interesting. I think Rillaboom's good for being the grasses that Weavile doesn't. The waters that Weavile doesn't like. So Galarian Slowking. I know you love that mon. I think I think they just don't have a good special attacker, so that they're going to run into issues where everyone's just going to run like Intimidate spam and stuff, and like something like a Steelix looks very like demonic. So like, what are your thoughts on this team?
I don't like to pair Slowking any steel type if they draft Steelix. Usually you want like an offensive steel type of Slowking, like Bisharp or Kartana. But they needed a ground typing, so Steelix is more of a ground type on this team.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Yeah.
No, I don't know how I feel about Techno.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, oh, we need a normal type for all the ghosts that are scary. Even though I think there's over the course of the entire draft, there's been two ghosts like Gengar / Spectrier that are of that concern. Yeah,
They got rid of them, I guess.
no, they weave out.
Yeah, but
Yeah, for sure.
This one's a weird looking team. It's got Rotom Slowking, looks decent.
Yeah. So okay. So
Diancie, what do you think about Diancie?
I mean, I'm facing Diancie too, and it can be a threat in certain situations. So yeah, no, I think
They got its buffs.
I think Roman's really interesting. Sorry, I was a little distracted. No, I think it's an interesting team. I think it's good that Slowking. I think Slowking's just never going to die with grassy terrain, and
One of the best mobs.
yeah, but like with grassy terrain, removing its ghost ground weakness most of the time. Although everything has high horsepower nowadays, I don't know.
Yeah.
But usually it depends on some of the mons like Lando and stuff. Not Crocodile, just Lando. But no, overall, anyway, I think solid team. I would say this is the best team, unless I'm seeing something. I think Slowking, it's like a bringable poison, which I just realized. I realized that none of the other teams have a poison type. This is the only team with a poison type, so T-Spikes are going to run crazy on this team. Even with a Feeny, it's still scary. I think this is definitely their best team, for sure. I think it's not a question. All right, cool, next.
Yeah, they got double regen. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's the best team. Okay, and as we run through these teams, we're going to find more common cores, so that way we don't have to kind of go through the whole story with them. Okay, so this is... so which team is this?
Alright, this team is just garbage. Look at it.
Wait,
No physical attackers.
wait, is this Mystic or whatever? Who is this?
TTT Yusum.
You wanted to... No, let's do all Sword and Shield first. Let's do all Sword and
Oh,
Shield.
you're on dual Sword Shield.
Yeah, because we're related to the topic.
Okay.
Who's next down?
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Okay, so yeah, start. Okay, yeah, that's why he's. Okay, so another Galarian Moltres, very interesting. So Latios Lando. It makes sense from like like breaking for each other's counters and stuff. Ground type for the Lottie, for steals for Lottie. But I just don't like the double weak to ice. But unlike the other team, this team patches up the ice weakness very well. You got Vape, Vertum, Heat, and Melmetal, and the only one you really got to worry about is Kyurem, of course, because of freeze dry. But I think Melmetal's pretty good against Kyurem. I don't know. Yeah, it'd have to be like fully Spadef with Protect or whatever, but it could still work. I have to run Iron Head, I guess. Yeah, no, solid team. Fastest Bond Whimsicott is fine. I like Whimsicott. I know people don't. I like it. I think it's fine. Um, I think it's solid. I think it's pretty solid. I think wishing into the wish flip turn into Melmetal is very scary.
That's very good.
Like in a good way, yeah. It's for sure. It's good. No knockoff users. Lando, I guess.
When's it better against?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Whimsicott usually runs 4 move slots. Needs. So yeah. I mean, that's fine. I think no poison type might.
Double crown. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think whenever you see double typings, it means they're missing like a common type that's like very needed. They don't have a poison type.
Big fan of Golek. He's got double Golek here.
Yeah, yeah. I think overall the team's pretty good. I think removal. I mean, so the removal. So they have 5 removers. I think if Moltres gets defogged, they have 5 removers, but none of them want to run it. But I guess if you have 5, then you could probably fit it on one of them.
You run boots on all these months.
But it's just like you have the T spikes are probably pretty annoying. But I guess honestly,
They got one.
yeah, they got a lot of links and a steel type. And Whimsicott also wears boots a lot too, and honestly, Vape does too. So I guess that's their thinking, just spam boots. Yeah, honestly, that's fine. You don't want to throw out a poison type.
Masterpiece.
But yeah, I'd say it's definitely I think it's one of the better teams we've seen so far. So good, definitely highly rated. Sword and Shield 2, I'm gonna say right now, that looks like an absolute dog shit team. I think it's terrible.
You start off with Rillaboom Zero, or how do you save that draft? I think they did it
Awful.
splendidly.
I think anyone who drafted Zero or Rillaboom or Zero or Zarude, terrible. I'm just saying right now. I've seen like 3 or 4 cores like that. What?
You got Hamicha, Keys.
I mean, we'll talk about the rest of it in a second. I just want to say why. I want to say about why just so.
Off the bat, you start off with Rillaboom Zero. The draft is terrible.
I think you need, like, as a general thing, and whoever's listening, whatever, you need to, like, have your 2 months because they're so good. They need to beat what the other one loses to. The problem with Rillaboom Zeraora is that they're both great. I mean, and flying types is definitely one thing.
They both don't get stealth rock, and they're both single typing. You can't really, you need so much things at this point. It's round off.
That's a good point too. I didn't even think of that's a good point. Yeah, you have to check boxes a lot harder. Yeah. I think with Rillaboom being a grass type that's not a poison type, you kind of obligate yourself to get like some like weird poison type because it's kind of hard to get a poison type most of the time unless it's like Slowking. I'd say Nidoking.
Really well.
Or Nidoking.
They got double steel. Dude, look at the Slowbro, how well Slowbro complements them.
You mean Slowpoke, which is a challenge because they don't have a good. I mean, again, I know we talked about you don't need like a good fighting switch in, but like they really don't have a good one anyway. They really don't. Like they really struggle. Like I could run like if I Lycanroc for example.
They don't need to switch to anything.
I guess yeah, you just have Rillaboom to revenge stuff. Like a banded Lycanroc just absolutely decimates this team. Just close combat, just goes through everything.
Yeah. More or less.
Yeah, it does.
But no, Slowpoke, you got the regen, you got Stall. Like
I think it's a really good 1-pointer, but it's a 1-pointer, so it's not like but finishing up on the Rillaboom Zeraora thing, I just think that they hit the same things really similarly, and they also lose to a lot of the same stuff. So we're talking about like the Steelixes and the and like the Dragalges or random other
they can weaken things for each other.
Like Vileplume, which is on every single draft. Vileplume, like just completely destroys it, or like a Tangela. You know what I mean? Like things that are like absolutely.
You got ways around it. You can run like acrobatics, blaze.
You got ways around it, but like the point is like you don't want your 2 best months to lose like a 5-pointer is kind of what I'm saying. So I feel like that, and a 5-pointer that everyone, because I see a Ferrothorn, I see a double Ferrothorn, I see other stuff. I don't know, not for me. I think it makes it a bad start, and like you said, like it puts you behind as far as like the rest of the typings. So Hawlucha, I see what they did, double unburden possibilities. I don't think it's necessary. I think like 1's fine. I mean, oh wait, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm thinking electric terrain. Sorry. So Hawlucha with Rillaboom. I mean, in my also opinion, I think Zeraora is kind of a fighting type in itself, like with close combat and knockoff. It's not. I know it's not a fighting type. I know it's pure electric, but like it has the moves. It checks that box as far as what you want as a fighting type. Clicking knockoff. So I mean, Hawlucha is nice. I just don't think it's needed. I think Clef Key, I think Double Steel sets you up for a lot of danger as far as like fighting spam, like we talked about. I think this is probably the worst team I've seen so far, personally.
I like it. I like just some good old HO.
It's good HO. Also, the speed tiers are kind of weird because you got.
The only problem is, it's like got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 week ground. Like Roadboom's not going to cover all that.
Yeah, I mean, the wings here is not ideal. Like, I mean, yeah, obviously, terrain, but like we said, everything has high horsepower, except for like Lando, and Lando also kind of shits on this team. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, but we can move on. So Sword and Shield 3, I mean, that's a regen core right there. That's so.
Alright, let me tell you about this team. This is Oras with a smoking G on it. Look at it.
Yeah, it is. It's different. Just basically, the ORS team just went to Slowking, went to whatever Galar, and Slowking just transformed into whatever it is now. That's like the only thing that changed. like the Pokemon itself just like transformed. So I don't like Terrakion in this gen. I get what they were trying to do. I just
Lycanroc is way better.
yeah, for points, 100%. Like I just don't know. I just don't know what Terrakion does. Like what it misses Stone Edges.
You know what Terrakion does.
Like it's good.
Golden.
It's good, but like it doesn't like. I think it gets like Lash Out or something now, but
You think it's walled by Delgies.
I think it gets like Lash Out. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it gets Lash Out. But anyway, but yeah, so I think it's just yeah, Terrakion's a weird mon, and like I think this team really depends on it being like the core breaker, and there's just like some fat mons like Tangela, Vileplume that just absolutely shit on it.
This team was inspired like 5 years ago.
But I like the rest of the core. I like everything else about the core. I think I mean, Suicune's also pretty weird. I get what they're trying to do. I think Suicune, you need like I mean, you don't need it. I think it benefits to have like T-spikes on the team. That way you could run like sub-protect Suts and like status things. But, Gen 8, so poison
What do you
type.
think about that Wigglytuff?
I'm never going to get broad. Wigglytuff, the only reason you draft Wigglytuff is in a Polt League, but there's no Polt. Dragon Polt, So I think the team. Okay, this is what I'll say. I think the team looks a lot better. I think it'll struggle to perform. I think it's just very passive. I think Torrent doesn't like to run Nasty Plot, but like maybe it's kind of forced to because of like how sound defensively this team is. But it looks good on paper. I just don't see it breaking offensively personally. But it doesn't have immediate damage. It has everything that does damage requires a setup, except for I guess Bandit Terrakion. It's the only exception. So it's a middle. I don't know. It's in the middle. I would say okay.
I prefer HO and Sword and Shield 100%.
I think yeah.
More tough to pull off in Sword and Shield.
Unless you're Theo, you can ball stall.
But you got Regen. Regen
All right.
can carry a team.
Yeah, Regen is. I mean, no. I think defensively this team is absolutely sound. I just don't know about the offense. So Sword and Shield 4, Lele Chomp. We've seen a lot of success of it in past seasons. There was a Lele Chomp Zera team that absolutely decimated from Torrent back in Cock, a Clash of Kingdoms. I think it did really well, and I think there's a lot of reasons to that, partly because of their ability to get rid of each other's counters and match each other's speed tiers, good scarf options. So there's two of them here. I think Barraskewda is that, that kind of role. It's a little bit different than a Zeraora, obviously. But I think the speed tiers are decent. I don't like the skull switch-ins. It's okay. Not many people draft Keldeo. I think we actually have a Keldeo on our team. Not many people have a Keldeo, but Keldeo just runs through this team. I think it's solid. I think it's okay. I think the speed tier Barraskewda is weird. I think people just don't respect Barraskewda. So that's why it's like weird. But what do you think? Double grass.
This team is just ugly, dude. Why do you have double fire?
Double grass too.
Yeah, it's just ugly.
I think they could have gone like a Rotom Wash round 3. I mean, maybe it was drafted, but I think Rotom Wash would have fit this team a little bit better.
Colossal, you draft Colossal for its spikes, but you already have a Ferrothorn.
And I guess for Rapid Spin, they don't have any removal. Well, they have Rotom. But like, yeah, Rotom should be default. Rotom has to be a defogger because it can't do anything to like certain matchups like grass types. So you have to run defog. That's the only way you gain momentum. It's okay. I can see myself using it. Just Lele Chomp itself. There's also no fighting switch-ins. I should probably mention that. Weezing's like not a mon. I mean, it's a mon, but like you can just run coverage for it. I'd say overall, even though fighting is not that important, but
I like Weezing's skills.
Overall, Lele Chomp is enough to make me, kind of like the team. Good momentum too. They have really good momentum on this team. Lele can be a great breaker. I think just Chomp and Lele right there, they do fantastic for each other, and their fire type is decent. Again, I'll put this team in the middle for me personally. Middle team. I think their best team was. I think 1. Didn't we say 1 was like their best team and probably one of the best ones you've seen?
Yeah.
I'd say 1.
And then either 2 or 3.
No.
I would say 2.
You would take 2. I thought you thought also 2 was trash.
No, I like 2.
Yeah, I just don't like.
I said what they drafted complemented the Roadboom Zera so well. Usually people don't pull off the Roadboom Zera.
All right. Well, we have another one, so let's see if they pulled it off here. This is, also by the way, also probably this is probably going to end up being just Sword and Shield. We can do another one for Ultra Sun Moon.
Okay, yeah. We can just do Sword and Shield.
Okay, so for Trick of Eye, so Robin Zera, not a great start. So we're actually playing against this team this week, and I don't want to say too much, but I think, I mean, why don't you talk about this one, because I play them, so.
This team looks boring. I like Kiram. If you got a Kiram, you go up one grade.
I just feel like you need to support Kiram a little bit better than they did,
Yeah, they could have supported it better.
A little more momentum.
Having like Nito and Skarm carry the hazards, that's very. It looks. I like Trick of Eye, Sword and Shield. They have all mono HO, and I think that's the way to go in Sword and Shield.
I think it's important. I think more momentum on the team would have been.
Zoroark. How many single types are on this team? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's
4.
not too bad.
4, yeah. That's okay. I mean, Nidoqueen. A lot of pressure is put on Nidoqueen. Like, Nidoqueen has to come every single week because, like, just how much the team requires it to do. And Nidoqueen has, like, middling stats. So obviously, it's a great mon, but just because of, like, it's going to be asked to do so much that, like, maybe it'll be put in the back as far as, like, doing, being an electric immunity, being, like, a T-Spec Absorber, being a hazard, coverage.
Why do you think they picked up Poliwrath?
They don't have a Scald switch in at the moment.
Weak to Bisharp, you mean?
I mean, it helps with Weavile. I mean, they have Skarm. I don't know why they picked up Poliwrath. It's a weird pick.
Broken.
I mean, it's good. I just don't think this is the team that needs it. But I guess you don't really want it. I mean, it's fine. I mean, Skarm kind of does what you want Poliwrath to do, but better. Because, like, body press, it's, like, basically a fighting type. No.
Maybe if they're in Cineroar,
yeah.
I guess stuff I like Nasty on Cineroar.
I think this is... I mean, I don't like Robin Zera, but beyond that, I think it's okay. I think the other core support... I mean, I just don't like Robin Zera, personally. But so...
Yeah, they're only viruses? Yeah, Poliwrath is their only viruses.
Yeah, that's not good in a meta where fire types are a lot more... Like, what do they do with Heatran? Jeez.
No, what do they do versus Moltres?
I don't think anyone has a Moltres, but I think Heatran's everywhere, obviously. So
Why would no one have Moltres?
It's expensive. So yeah, so there's this team. So here's the number 2. I played this team this week. I'm not going to comment this much because my game's still coming too. You tell me what you think. Like, you have to talk about
your
everything.
Game is coming out after you comment, right?
Yeah. Just upload this tomorrow. Don't upload this today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so tell us how you're gonna smash it.
So, okay, definitely don't upload this till tomorrow. Okay. So I mean, we have a plan of just having a Dragonance Necrozma just absolutely destroying him. I mean, that's not really a thing you can prep for. Necrozma, if it's properly supported, it's just such a good mon. We support it pretty well, I think. They have to rely on cheese to win this matchup. It's not specific to my matchup, though. I'm going to talk more generally. I think it's a good balance of breakers, honestly. I think the wings are not ideal, especially since they don't have any ground resist otherwise. Both their wings are kind of like Garchomp, for example. They could switch in Ferrothorn, but they have to run like Akka.
I like this team a lot. It's just straight up HO. You don't have to think in the builds. You just run like Bandit, Zapdos.
Yeah. I think overall it's a good team. I like this team too.
Yeah.
Winning with the wings though.
I mean, I'm a huge Latios fan, and I'm a huge Zapdos fan. I like it.
Yeah, I think maybe that's something.
It's a clear weak Garchomp. They got Ice Shard Weavile.
That's true.
They came on the Air Balloon Dance team. They really wanted.
Yeah, true. That's probably what they're. I mean, that's kind of what I'm expecting.
But are they Spike weak?
Not really. Double Defog and Weavile wins boots all the time. They're not really Spike weak.
Yeah. What's their other? Does Zapdos get Defog?
I don't think so.
Defog. No,
Imagine if it like defogged on like there's no magic bouncers, but if there was a magic bouncer like Xatu or something, it defogged on it and then it magic bounced it back.
I'm guessing with this team, you just throw the hazards up and just go to town with some HO.
Yeah, I'm lucky I have a Cinderace on my team because otherwise, that'd be really scary. But I do have a Cinderace on my team. Okay.
Sword Shield 3.
This is a good team. But yeah. Sword Shield 2, good team. I think very balanced. I like it a lot. I think it's a lot of good components to it. And it's good because it's hard to support Zapdos well, and I think they did a great job. Sword and Shield 3.
They have a Xergatry. Comment on that.
So, Xergatry is weird because like I can't think of all the mons that like beat it as far as like switching into it. There's like What? Yeah, lost tail glow, but it's still really strong. It can't really run specs. It can kind of do life orb, but like it doesn't have like Z anymore. Um,
No, let me tell
it
you.
just doesn't serve as it doesn't serve as a defensive electric type that you want it to be. However, they have a Registeel, so maybe that is okay. But what are you gonna say?
What's the set it runs? It runs
I don't even know. It doesn't get agility.
hypnosis and what's the
Blunder policy. It's
yeah.
that's I would not recommend my teammates run that if I had a circuitry. It's just not reliable.
No, you got like 180 special attack. You don't care about the miss, dude. Then once you get the speed, boom, you just sweep.
I
And
guess.
hypnosis, bro. I would definitely run that set.
I mean, it just loses. Like for example, like it just can't touch Vileplume. For example, you know, like there's certain mons. Like I'm just saying, there's like certain mons that I have to look at it and see, like do an analysis and see, like Therathorn, Vileplume, like those types. Like, it just absolutely like it only has correct me if I'm wrong because it lost Signal Beam too because they got deleted. I think it only has Electric, Grass, and Fairy coverage, and that's it.
That sounds about right.
I think that's all it has, right? So it's that most of the time is good. Yeah. Most of the time it's good, but it has like certain things it just auto loses to, but it has Volt Switch, so like most of the time ground types aren't beating it because of Energy Ball, so you could probably Volt Switch on it. So, but it's just not fast enough to be a Scarfer. It's okay. Like, let's see how. I've never seen Sword and Shield or Circuitry. I've always been open to it, so let's see. So the rest of the team,
I like its backbone. It has Slowbro, Registeel, and I love Registeel. Sword and Shield got Body Pressing, Heavy Slam.
yeah, it got better. It got those two Iron Defense Body. I want to try it.
You can't go wrong with Chomp. Chomp is in the race. Like the first 5 months are really good.
I mean, I'll tell you that like in our drafts, like we had Chomp, Cinderace, and Necrozma instead of Slowbro, and we were looking at what wings do we want? Do we want either Mandibuzz or do we want Togekiss? Both of them work extremely well. I like Mandibuzz for the momentum. I'm just a momentum whore, but I could see Togekiss too. Yeah, because you'll see our draft in a second, but we did Mandibuzz Primarina, which is like, you know,
I like that.
yeah, I think that works pretty well together. You'll see when I play my game, but yeah, overall this team's really solid. I mean, I'm biased because it's pretty similar to our team. I don't love Registeel, but as far as like Registeel's a good mon, but just like there's so much momentum on this team, so it's like, you know, you don't want to slow it down. But I think it's fine. I mean, they have Leafeon for extra zero, but
It has a Leafeon, which I'm a big Leafeon hater, and I'm a big Sword and Shield Draveon hater. I don't like Draveon Sword and Shield at all. It lost pursuit. It's just mediocre, you know.
yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you put it on because like it glue like it's a dark type. It has a ground poison knockoff, I guess, but it just seems overwhelming.
They need a knockoff and a dark type.
Yeah, I get like why they drafted it. It just comes underwhelming at times. Where you're just like, oh, it's just like it sits there and it has a nanny-based attack. But it's fine. I think it's a good team. I think it's a good team for sure.
Decent team, yeah.
Expect your time. So what do you think?
Oh my.
We're playing against this team too. Yeah. Did we? Yeah. So I don't want to comment too much on it because I don't want to be disrespectful to Count because there's nothing really bad to say about what he did. But we kind of knew what he was bringing, like everything. That's kind of why we ran the Gengar that we ran. We knew Scarf Landorus was coming. It was super obvious. We knew like Sub-Willow Hex or some form of that was coming. We knew like Obstagoon. Trick was a cool, Switchery was a cool tech for Crocodile. I like that. But everything we knew was coming, and so we were prepared to beat it. But the only reason we won is because we had to absolutely cheese in doing so. Like, if it didn't work, it wasn't going to work, and then we absolutely lose. So this is a bad matchup for us because it's a great matchup for them because I think there's a lot of elements of this team that's pretty solidly built. I think they have good, like, so I think Slowking definitely glues a lot together. Slowking Lando is a great core. Like, Slowking Lando, Slowking Chomp, like, Slowking's a good job at, like, I should say Slowbro Chomp and Slowking Lando are the same principle as far as like defensive core. Like they just glue so much together, I think. And so they did a good job drafting it. Zapdos is obviously fantastic. I think breaking wise, if
they don't have spikes.
Special attacking, if the opponent has a normal type, then they don't have a good special breaker. But that's like a lot of ifs, so like that's fair. But like they don't have a good special attacker if the opponent has a normal type. So like a type null actually looks pretty scary for their team, for example. Like,
yeah, that's right.
So I mean that's random though, right? Like how many people have that?
I think they have the tools for anything. They got obstacle ability.
Yeah, I think Vileplume's good. I think Vileplume's really good just in general to have because of like so many teams are spamming a Rillaboom Zeraora. And I'll tell you right now that Vileplume was a big issue for the team that we had as well, and that's the reason we had to run cheese because we had like Caparajah and like something else, and like Vileplume beats Caparajah, which is really sad, but it's true.
I don't hate it.
It's true. It's strength sad.
Life or E-Boss would blow it back.
No, it beats it because you just speed creep it, you outspeed it, and then you strength set.
Damn.
It's sad.
Crazy.
It's really sad. But yeah, so no, very solid team. Very hard to build around. I think it's hard to support Spectrier in a good way. I don't know, like, Special Dark Pulse looks kind of scary because Clefairy being their only fairy. Like, Dragon Spam, like, we ran Specs Como, which was very free because they're not being...
Wow.
The fairy is like, whatever. But I would say, honestly, like, as far as, like, weaknesses go, this is a very, very solid team. So well done, Trick of Eye. I think overall, this is the best Sword and Shield draft so far, which is not surprising. Which is not surprising, because they have a lot of geniuses on that team. Okay, we're halfway done, almost.
Moving on to the Porygon squad.
Oh, God. Also, let's not do these, right? You don't want me to do them, or do you want me to just talk more? And you can talk about...
We can gloss over them, yeah.
Okay, because I know this is... Yeah. So...
I'll just explain it a little bit.
Yeah, so I'll give my first impressions and you can react to them. So, Sword and Shield 1, we actually have an identical team to this. Basically identical. We have Zera, Celesteela, Hydreigon, Swampert, and then I think we have Heracross over Lycanroc, and then like bottom fillers. The reason we got Heracross is because, like I said, Zeraora is basically a fighting type, but I think here Lycanroc makes a lot of sense here. We were looking at Lycanroc too as well. This he makes a lot of sense. I think no knockoff is probably going to annoy you guys. People are just...
Yeah, that's one thing.
I think Celesteela Zera is slightly better than Celesteela Coco, but Celesteela Coco can still work because you're powering up the electric types for Celesteela rather than being immune to them. So, but you have Hydreigon Swampert, so it's not like the end of the world.
What do you think about that 1 point Kadabra?
I know you love it. It's a good speed tier. Like, fuck it, like, why not? Like,
it's the only problem with this team.
Fighting weak. You have enough fighting weaknesses too. Your fighting is pretty annoying. Delmise is whatever.
Yeah, using Delmise. No one has Delmise switches, let me tell you that.
Delmise is actually a lot better with Poltergeist now. So I'm curious to see if you can actually put work into it with it. Like, you could probably like sub on like a Pharaoh or something, and then just like SD, and then just like go to town.
Yeah, we can even do like R&D, Body Press.
You can't do that. No, not with this. Any mon can do that. This is not a good example of a mon that does that.
Okay, let me talk about Lycanroc, dude. It's way better than Terrakion.
It's a good mod. I think SD sometimes can clean that. I think Choice Banded, I think Whiter, Eject Pack is also a good set. I think you guys want to look into. Like Adamant, Eject Pack, Close Combat. You close combat into the Swampert, then you flip turn back into Lycanroc. We did that in Clash of Kingdoms in our season, except with no flip turn.
I think that's just a good HO team. You got Steela, Hydreigon, Coco. You can't go wrong with that,
Yeah, I'm biased because I have a very similar team, but yes, I think it's a good team.
Alright, what do you think about Sword Shield 2? Personally, I'm a Caparajah hater.
Really? I like Caparajah. I find it really surprising how well it does in matchups where it's only 7 points, and it's like, wow, like it's actually putting a lot of work. It helped Renegade like at 6-0 in a point opponent, I think, last DPL. So, or not DPL, but some other league I remember. Renegade like 6-0 with Caparajah versus like a Toxapex team. Sword and Shield 2. I don't like Mew at all. I think it's better in this gen than it is in the other gens, but at least in this gen it can Dragon Dance, which is probably the only way I'd use Mew, maybe like a Calm Mind, like something, or Nasty Plot. So it's weird. I'd say, looking at it, I think there's a lot of things that are covered pretty well. It does, like you said, stink to rely on Mono, Fairy Resist, Caparajah, really. But Vaporeon can serve as that as well, as a flip turner.
I like it. To be honest, I really like this team. It's just in your face. Mew, Zapdos, boom.
I think you also don't have knockoff support, which is pretty tough, and Fastest Mon Talonflame is definitely So it has its flaws. Also, Wigglytuff is just useless. I don't know why people keep drafting it.
We needed that Dragon Resist.
I guess. Yeah, but it's not going to come. So, I guess maybe against a Lottie, but yeah, maybe Lottie. Yeah, it's alright. It's an okay team.
I like it. Nido King's in your face, dude. It's just so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's good. I think Talonflame is going to be U-turning a lot. Zapdos probably is forced a little more of a defensive role with U-turn or Volt Switch or something, which is fine. It's good at that. It's good. It's good. I think knockoff would have been really nice for this team, but otherwise it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, knockoff. All right, Sword Shield 3. Look at this disaster. It's got the Zera Bikini. That's like Zera Rillaboom, but worse.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, just weak to earth. I mean, your first three are just all weak to ground. Like that's just bad. Like Lando just shreds this team. Like Garchomp shreds this team. Like Thwacky is not a response to either of them. Yeah, Vaporeon. Like I guess Persian can help, kinda.
Oh, I'm a Persian hater.
Yeah, this team needs some help. Also a Steel type that's weak to it as well. A Corviknight would have been really sick, or even a Skarm would have been really cool for this team.
I wanted both of those. They said no.
Yeah, that would have fit a lot better, I think. Especially with Nidoking.
I like Salamence. I think Salamence has the tools necessary.
I mean, I'm curious to see. We had a team where we got sniped from our Dragonite pick, and it was our Coco team got sniped to Dragonite, and so I was like, why don't we take Salamence? They're like, absolutely not. I'm like, I don't know. I wonder if Salamence actually does have some potential now with boots. It can actually be defensive, and no hidden power. No hidden power ice too. So I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely a worse team. But
Yes.
I don't know why you got double speed tier, but you did. You got like Persian then Zeraora.
Yeah.
The only reason you get Persian is for the speed tier, probably most of the time. You get it just.
I don't know what happened, to be honest. We're probably gonna change it up.
Yeah, you probably should. It's okay. We don't have to spend too much time on it. And the last team, the Mew, Feeny, Kyurem. And it's Kartana. Kartana. A lot of Thwacky, man. It's yeah. Oh, so why do you have double grass? That's so weird. You just wanted a ground switching.
The grassy terrain to help Kartana.
I mean,
Powerful leaf blades. Can you believe it, dude? What? Mystic Kings copied my draft. They copied my Thwacky Kartana.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Thwacky Kartana, especially when you're fire resist. I mean, you have good fire resist, but
Dude, this team has everything. Name one flaw.
let's see. I mean, I don't love fastest. I just don't think Talfon's a great mon, but I think you don't have a lot of. I mean, okay, you have Kyurem, which is an absolutely great breaker, and you have
Yeah, it's a
Kartana.
beast.
Okay, let's see.
Name one switch to Kartana right here.
Bronzong.
That's a switch, dude. You're getting dropped by knockoff.
I mean, I'm just saying that would probably work as best as you can.
Alright, why is Terrakion on 15 points but Kartana's 14? But Kartana has no switches, but Terrakion has like 20 switches.
Because Spadef is trash. But overall, I'd say, I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on for this team. I think defensively, there's a lot left to be desired. I mean, you have Mew Finny, but like something like a Nidoking looks like kind of like a menace to switch into. I mean, you have Mew, but
No, doesn't Kyurem wall Nidoking? You just outspeed it and then boost on it.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, I mean, no, it's. I mean, yeah, it's good. It doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't like because I don't like Mew that much, but I guess I can't really find a flaw in it. So like, yeah, it probably does. It probably looks pretty solid. It just seems like, I don't know. Maybe the momentum is lacking. I guess. If you want Kyurem.
Flip turn. Wait, no.
No.
Yeah, it is lacking in momentum. I'll give you that.
Yeah, but I mean, Talonflame's fine. If you're bringing Talonflame, it's almost always going to be having U-turn. And then maybe Mew teleport.
To be honest, we don't need it. We just send out a mon and click attack like Kartana,
It's a good team. It's a good team. I think there's a lot of things to like. I think Skuntank has to carry a lot, and considering the fact that it's probably not coming. So I don't know, but I think overall it's a good team. I think it's a good team for sure. Overall, I'd say your Sword and Shield is probably second or third behind Trick of Eye. I'd say probably third. But to be
Yeah, I
honest.
can agree with that. Third.
Okay.
I'll say second.
What team is this?
This is Mystic Kings.
The Kings. Man, ours must be at the bottom. Oh yeah, we're probably the very last team. Okay, so double Tornadus is so good. I love it. So both teams focus on double. I know I'm doing two at one time. Double Regenerator is interesting for both of them. But let's start with Sword and Shield 1. They got. Yeah, this is the team that they sniped us on Dragonite, and they didn't need Dragonite at all. Like that, I thought it was a very poor pick for. That's why I was like, they're not going to pick it because it makes no sense to their team. They don't have immediate breaking power. So that's why I was like, I saw the first four, and I'm like, oh, they're probably gonna get some like physical wall breaker probably, and they get Dragonite. I'm like, what are you doing? So that's why I was confused. I didn't like that pick. I'm biased because I wanted Dragonite, but like I'm also confused. Like it didn't make sense on their team. Like Kieran looks a little annoying for them, but I guess they have Mian Shao to kind of be in that role, maybe Ferrothorn. They don't have them. They have some momentum to bring in like Dragonite, but again, like they don't have like that physical breaking power that makes you like, wow, like I need to switch into this. Like Dragonite, you kind of just like don't let it DD. You have status, whatever. Like, and also Gloom is like not a poison type. You just don't even draft it. Like, what are you doing? Because it's never gonna come over Slowbro. It's never gonna come over Slowbro. So maybe against Zero. Maybe you know what? There's actually been a lot of Zero or Rillaboom teams. Maybe it comes in that matchup. Yeah, that's probably the only time it comes, which is reasonable because so many people drafted it for whatever reason. But yeah, I think the first four was really solid. I think Dragonite was not the
First five, dude.
I don't think Dragonite.
Double regen, you run boots on D9 tornadoes. This team is so hard to beat.
No, I think the first four and Mian Shao are. I think the first four and Mian Shao are good. I just think if they got like a Haxorus over Dragonite, that would have been like a lot better.
Why you?
Because you have all this momentum, you want to abuse it. You have teleport from Slowbro. You want to get a breaker in with all the momentum. You have Mian Shao U-turn from Scarf, Tornadus knockoff U-turn support. You're bringing the entire team together. Or Kyurem would have been really dirty on this team too. Like all that momentum to bring in like an absolute monster of a switch in, like get it in safely. That's what I would have said personally. But I think this team kind of struggles a little bit with steals, a little bit. Maybe fat types, but
whatever you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know. My opinion is like I think just breaking wise, it struggles a bit, and I think it will run into that problem. I think
can break anything at once.
And double flying. I just don't know why they did double flying.
Flying spam? Have you heard of flying spam?
Dragonite doesn't have good flying spam. Neither does Torn. Really, because Hurricane can miss. I say it's a solid team. I think it's a solid team. I think everything except for the Dragonite team came together really well for them. I think they might. I think in mids they might replace it with like a Haxorus or like something. That'd be a lot, or some other physical breaker like a not Mammoth. They have ground type. Just something. They're going to run into the problem. They just don't have immediate damage. So, I know that because our team.
They don't need immediate damage. They got triple regen. They're just going to stall you out.
Yeah.
With spikes.
Okay.
Shell can break whatever it wants.
So I think Sword and Shield 2 does a better job of bringing in the threat and actually has a threat, which is Kartana.
What's the threat? Oh yeah, true. Alright, look at this team, dude. I invested Tornadus, Slowking G, and look what copied me.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense for momentum, everything. They just cannot. They nothing can break except for knockoff. Nothing really irritates this team.
People clowned me for drafting Slowking round 2 in LV.
I mean, yeah, you were ahead of the time for sure. I think it's a great. I mean, I just think in general defensive mons are like looked down upon. So I think that's probably the only thing. But like, I still think it's a really solid mon. I think this is another team where like had they not drafted Kartana, it would have been a very like passive, like not very threatening team, and maybe honestly, especially, it's still lacking a little bit of power, I'd say. But Kartana is just a monster, and it's gonna do so much work with like.
This team is a masterpiece.
I think, yeah, like you have Parting Shot from Silvally, Crocodile. I would say if Crocodile was like a Kyurem or something, and they got a different ground type, then that would be sick. Like that would just be.
Tornadus Kyurem, that's kind of redundant.
Is it?
Yeah, both get walled by steel types, both weak to rocks.
Well, Kartana and Tornadus are also kind of walled by steel types.
Dude, don't discount Crocodile. Crocodile is one of the best mons.
Who is?
Period. Crocodile.
No, it's a great mon. It's a great mon. I think it's really good. No, they have a lot of good momentum. I think in matchups where I like Silvally a lot because I think it has the ability to become.
It can be any type of monster complement Slowking so well.
It performs in the role that you need it to. Like if you need like a fairy switch in, like you got your Silvally fairy. If you need a steel type, considering the fact that the steel type right now is just Kartana, you got a steel type right there. I think this team. This team might be the best team I've seen so far. I think.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think it might be the best team I've seen so far. Like of any draft. Like it has everything you want, and and its deficiency, except for the Thwacky is random. I don't know why people are spamming that. It's not going to come. I get the principle. It's just not going to come. I say in mids, if they change Clefairy Thwacky to like Shiinotic and then a 4-point mon, or a 5-point mon. They could do a 5-point mon. It's actually like a Golek or something, like a 5-point mon and like Shiinotic, because they don't really need what these two mons are for. Like that's not really necessary. I think if they did Shiinotic plus like some like 5-point mana adds to the team, this might be like one of the best drafts I've seen like in a long time.
Shiinotic a Hydreigon solution?
Yes, it is.
It is.
It is. It's Spadef. It can take Flash Cannon, yep. Unless it runs like Belch, but that's trash for a Sononic.
What about Fire Blast?
On this team, Fire Blast does not run. So it is a switch in. You don't run Fire Blast in this matchup. Right? Like in this team, you don't run Fire Blast. You'd run. I don't even know. Yeah. This is a really good team. I would say like if they made that. I mean, you don't have to because it's a waste of 2 picks, whatever. But if they made that change, that might be I would use that team in a heartbeat. It looks like so much fun. Okay. So I'm giving these people advice. Like, Sword and Shield 3.
Look at this masterpiece, dude. Sword Shield 3, Alakazam, Moltres, Deep Dream,
All right, relax.
3 of my favorite mons.
Keep in your pants. Okay, so the thing is this team is really solid. I think it's a little lacking on just the immediate power. I think with like a Clefable, Rotom, Wash, you'd want a mon. Like, not Celesteela also doesn't have like immediate breaking power. It has really good pivoting and positioning, but there's just like something missing with this team. I feel like I don't know why they did Regigigas and Moltres.
You run screens on this team and just go to town with Moltres and Alakazam and Steel. You can easily.
Who's running like screen Rotom?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasted a Rotom, honestly.
This team reminds me of my USUP teams. Like it looks defensive, but then just go all out with HO.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say it's. I just think Regigigas and Moltres and Eldegoss for that matter, because also it could be a Spadef like mon for like Spectrier. Like I think there's an Eldegoss that can maybe beat Spectrier.
Spectrier.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that they have 3 mons that do the same thing. Is what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think Eldegoss is like a full-on counter, but I think I'd be curious to see that matchup. There's probably a set that works. Maybe not. I could be mistaken, but anyway, even then, Regigigas, Moltres, G, enough for Spectrier already. Like you don't need that much. I feel like knockoff again. Every time I see Moltres go R, I'm wondering like where's your knockoff support, and this team has absolutely none. And I say knockoff a lot. Like normally it's not a component with draft, but I think in a meta. And I say this a lot, but in a meta with no Gliscor, so in a meta with no Megas, obviously, no Gliscor, no Infernape, no Greninja, all of those are all knockoff switch-ins, so all of them are gone. Like, knockoff is supreme. And then boots everywhere. So, so I look for knockoff whenever I have a good draft, and I just don't see it here. I also think there's no. This is a big problem. Wait, I found a big problem with their team. They have no physical like powerhouses. Like they have no way to break like assault vested mons. Like if you spammed assault vest, you would just like wall this team. Except for I guess
Sam, you got Bandit Celesteela.
You can make it work. You know what I'm saying.
That's a good point, dude.
You know what I'm saying? I would say definitely the worst team of the 3, but that's only because those 2 teams are.
Don't discount physical natively.
Yeah, no. So this is definitely the worst team of the 3, but that's probably mostly because the first 2 teams are really solid, especially the second team.
Worst team of the 3, but best of all the other teams.
No.
I would say.
No. I think not having a physical attacker is really going to hurt them, and no knockoff also is going to really like a Crudal would have been a lot better on this team than a Nidoqueen.
Oh yeah, Crudal looks nice on this team.
Yeah, it would have been. But yeah, no, I'd say definitely the worst of the 3, and I personally say it's a mid team, probably benched pretty frequently compared to the other 2. Team 4, they're running Coco.
Team 4 is just trash compared to the first 3.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like Mono Stealth Rock Nidoking. I think that's very limiting on what it wants to do. I love Evil.
Evil, Leafeon. 2 useless mods that will never ever come.
Yeah, that's very fair. They're forced to bring in the first 6.
Melodic, Dragonite, though, those are the 2 of the best mods.
I think it's a very. I don't know. I'm confused with this team. I think
it's just boring.
I don't describe it as boring. I mean, it has Dragonite and Melodic. Those two mods you never really see. I would say boring. I'd say like. I don't know what. I feel it's not the best analysis. I just feel like I can just see it struggling. I think I can see like no Stealth Rocker putting Nidoking in a bad position. They already kind of lose to like the opposing Coco. So I guess you'd have to run defensive with rocks anyway. Maybe it's good. There's something weird about this team. I feel like there's a lot of common threats.
It looks frail, but it's really not.
Yeah, I don't like the knockoff switch-ins. Like
Is it Spike Week? Is that what it is?
spikes are whatever. Everything with boots. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, triple boots, like knockoff just runs. Yeah, that's a big thing. Triple knockoff, triple boots dependency, but like no real knockoff switching. So like, what do you get? Like Scarf Crook just like looks awful. Okay, like
Yeah,
it's.
Melodic can't be every ground type.
Yeah, you just knock it off the first time, then you spike stack, and then you just 2 a KO with Earthquake, and then like Dragonite gets chipped, and then that's a knockoff sweep or Earthquake sweep like right then and there. Like Leafeon is your response, but this gen, like I know you hit Leafeon, I normally like it, but it doesn't have Baton Pass in this gen.
Wow.
And the only reason I like Baton Pass is like so you get momentum with boots. That way you can bring in your real mons. So no, it doesn't get Baton Pass. So as a result, I think Leafeon's pretty bad. Definitely the worst of the. I would say definitely 3 and 4 are completely a different echelon.
Why do you hate 3 so much? 3's go. Look at it, Celestine.
I already gave you the reasons.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Fables.
I know the mons look good. I'll show you a team. I'll show you our team of example of team with a lot of mons that look good, but just it's not a good team.
Alright.
Anyway, definitely these 2 are the worst 4 of the 4. 1 and 2 are phenomenal. 2 of the best. Definitely 2 is the best team. I think Sure 1 is up there. I think it's bad to not have a solid third team because you obviously got to bring them. I would say, I think this is like tie with Strigoliath overall best overall Sword and Shield roster.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on. The Rose Garrison.
Maybe this. I would give it. I think having the best overall team is. It's tie. We'll call it a tie.
You want to rank them at the end of it?
We'll rank them. We can rank at the end. That'd be fun. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. I mean, it's kind of hard in this platform. We'll see. We'll talk about it. So yeah, Garchomp Victini, a very solid start. I've paired Garchomp Victini and I've had issues as far as like walled by similar stuff. Sometimes it's hard to explain because they're obviously 2 very different looking mons, but like something like a Feeny or something or hard. I don't know. I've had mixed results with Garchomp Victini, but Victini is a great mon. The rest of their team looks absolutely disgusting. What is going on with the rest of their team? What?
Right, this team lacks recovery. Their recovery is Scizor.
They have physical. So instead of having a good physical defensive mon, they compensated by having 4 like average physical defensive mons, like Claydol, Persian, Weezing, all of them. Like,
what's the point of drafting Weezing when there's no Urshifu, there's no
that's it.
Mega Lopunny.
Or not Gallade, Lopunny, I guess.
Medicham, I guess. I don't know. Does it wallet?
It probably runs Psychic Berry. Stream seems actually stronger than I thought. It's actually like 90 base power. Anyway, so...
As a Claydol dude, I'm a big Claydol hater.
You don't like Claydol? Dude, Claydol's so good. We'll talk about that in a different video, but I think Claydol's amazing. I think Mono Rock's Chomp is okay. I mean Claydol, but like I don't count that. Mono Rock's Chomp is okay. I mean, you'd be like, well, Chomp is a great stealth rocker. Yeah, but there's some matchups.
What's the banded Bull Breaker drill switching? Show me right now.
I don't think anyone drafted extra drill. Okay. I think you could probably make it. I think Persian could be a switch in theory.
No way. Burko doesn't work on Bull Breaker.
Oh, it doesn't. You're right. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah, no. So it's interesting. I mean, that's why I want Haxorus. That's why I think Haxorus would be really good because everyone like ignores it. Like Bandit Earthquake from Haxorus also would sweep this team. Anyhow. I think this team looks really weird. Honestly, I think there's no mold breakers right now in the format, so you don't have to worry about that as much. There's no Zygarde either, really. So I think it's weird. I'm gonna say something's missing. Like Spadef, they kind of struggle. Like I might bring Regigigas every game. Am I like? I don't know. It's a weird looking team. I think there's a lot. I think Weezing slows down a lot of momentum for a team that wants like to have breakers in, and I think Scizor, Garchomp. No, I wouldn't say it's that bad. I think it's awkward. I think it's more awkward than bad. I'd give it definitely like a C or something. I can't put my finger on it, but like I would look at this team like prepping for it, and something like I don't know, a Specs Como or something looks like it just runs through it. You know, like something very simple. So I don't know. Okay, maybe Celesteela would also Celesteela kind of destroys this team too. I don't know.
Yeah, Celesteela will destroy everything. Alright, Sword Shield 2.
Yeah.
We got Spila, Mindshao, Hydreigon, Halakazam, Roselia, dude. These are the best mons in the format.
Yeah.
However, they ruined it with Stunfisk ruined this whole job.
No, Stunfisk Celestial is actually pretty solid. I think it's weird. I don't think you need both Stunfisk and Roselia. That's like overkill because you can only bring one of them to a Coco Zero matchup. You can't bring both.
Stumpfucker is Stunfisk. What?
Yeah, Stumpfucker Stunfisk. Yeah, honestly, I'm in a position where I'm like, oh, I kind of want to play against this team because like they're pressure to like bench like Alakazam or something some weeks or something. Maybe like bench Hydreigon. Also, yeah, I was going to comment on this. Very questionable to draft Hydreigon and Feeny. You can't drop Dracos. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird synergy thing. I mean, you can work around that, I guess, but not ideal, honestly. Aldino's cool. I like Aldino. I think it's very underrated. It's good knockoff, spam, because Hydreigon you can't really knock off with, and you have Mienshao. I think I mean, if you look at just like Celestial Hydreigon, that's like a very common core.
Yeah.
Only physical breaker Mienshao, as we talked about with the other draft, pretty sketchy, I'd say. Definitely some weaknesses with this team.
I think it's fine, dude. I ran like mono special teams in Crocodile carry.
I mean, that's Crocodile. But yeah, I mean, we'll show you a team where it's like it's more like you have a lot of teams that like almost do it for you. Maybe Alakazam is one that does like have that power, but the rest of them are kind of like almost powerful, but not like quite there. Where it's like that is my dedicated physical breaker, So, yeah, I'd say all right. Another all right team. So far, not looking too good for this team, personally. But
I don't like it.
all right. So Sword and Shield 3. Let's see here. I'm trying to give all these teams a fair chance.
Terrible. Ew, what is this?
Let's see here.
What is
Walrein looks kind of weird.
Is that a water? Is that the Skull Fusion? What is that?
Yeah, I guess it's a Skull Switching because you don't have Rillaboom. I guess Zapdos can be a Skull Switching if you need it to be. Like, there's not many, like... We're talking about defensive Skull, so you can have Zapdos be your defensive Skull Switching. Comfy...
You're getting burnt stuff, so you don't want to get burnt.
Fastest Mon, Lycanroc, which is not good.
Now you got Draining Kiss and Grassy Glide. You don't need... And you got Shadow Sneak. It's fine.
Yeah.
You got Excel Rock. It's fine.
That's true. That's a lot of priority. And Sucker Punch from Skuntank if you need more.
To be honest, I like the first four the first five, I think they complement each other so well.
Yeah. I mean, Rillaboom Zapdos is definitely better than the other electric types that I've seen Rillaboom paired with. I think Double Ice. I think Ice is. I mean, there we go. It's a Cure and Response. That's what it is. Because Comfy doesn't. Unfortunately, Comfy does not beat Cure. So that's probably what it is. It's their Comfy response, their Cure and Response. But
I really like the first five, dude.
Yeah, I don't like Comfy. We have it, and I just no, I don't like.
It's very good.
I mean, there's even with like the Slow Kings and the Steel types getting better. Like I don't know.
True.
But yeah, overall, I'd say it's good. It's a good team. I think probably their best one. I'd say it's the best one so far.
Yeah, so far.
I mean, I think Walrein. Just get something else instead of Walrein. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe they wanted Ice type.
Nah. Yeah, their best team so far, I'd say. Aegis / Zapdos. I mean, yeah, I think because you only need Swampert to be your rocker. It's a fine rocker. Giving it terrain, high horsepower is nice. Like Swampert Rillaboom's a really solid core, of course. Yeah, I'd say this is the best team. The best team so far. Oh God, Sword and Shield 4 looks very, very unoriginal. Like what we've seen before. All right. First thing I noticed, no knockoff users. That's already a minus, I'd say. You're gonna struggle. I mean, I've said before why you need a knockoff user. A lot of special attack. Oh, this is a really big problem. They just don't have any physical breakers. The Root is not a physical breaker. It is like forced usually into like Scarf or like jungle healing setup. It's not a Bandit. You never really want to. You can run Bandit. I've seen Bandit be run, but you don't want that to be your option every single week.
Does that thing drop liquidations?
It drops liquidations, but like you're getting walled by a lot of grass types with this team. Like Vileplume looks really annoying for this team.
Feeny looks annoying to this team.
Yeah, this is another weird team. Latios Clefable, like they kind of hit the same stuff, which is like dragons, and they also kind of lose the same stuff. A lot of special attacking spam, and then Nidoqueen. I don't like this team very much, and a double water type at the end. Honestly, this might be one of the worst teams I've seen so far because they also don't have a speed tier.
It's just average. It's not.
They also don't have speed tier either. They don't have no priority. They're fastest Mon Latios and no speed tier either.
Oh wow, no priority.
Yeah, webs, but like webs don't really exist in this gen. Heatran. I mean, everyone's using all 90 points, right? So it's like they're gonna have solid stuff, but I'm just trying to be comparative.
Yeah, every team's gonna lack something.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is like every team is gonna have 90 points, so they're gonna have like good solid mons. It's about how they fit together with one another. Like, yeah, Heatran's a great mon, Zarude, Latios, they're great mons. They just don't fit together well at all. I would.
They do. They fit together well. It's just missing like.
It's missing some core components. Like I think again, Crocodile over. I think Crocodile Vileplume over Zarude Nidoqueen would have been a lot better, and they would have gotten a better mon over Rotom Fan or something, or maybe over Araquanid, and then you're talking about a much better team, I think. Where you have Crocodile plus Vileplume, because it's the same four typings, but you have different roles being played. I think personally it's the worst draft I've seen so far, but that's just my opinion.
So,
I think so.
It's just average. Just, like,
Nah.
The first
I think
five are good bonds. It's just average.
They're good mons, but you're talking about synergy. You're talking about how they work
Look
together.
at their Sword Shield 1 team again, dude. Do I have to refresh your
Hmm?
Look at their Sword Shield 1 team again. You're going to tell me that's better?
I mean that's they're both bad. Okay, one thing we can agree on: this is definitely the worst sword, pretty easily the worst sword and shield of what we've seen so far. Because so far we've had a couple of solid ones. Yours is another one was solid. I think Trick of Eye and I think Mystic King. I forget which one. They tied. Yeah, Mount Rushmore. They tied for first. This one is like I can't even think of a draft that's like good. Like 3 is like okay to me. It's like above average, right? But you're talking about 3 bad ones and 1 above average. That's the worst.
Yeah, that's kind of on the lower end of the spectrum.
I'd say. I mean, so far, yeah, it's bad. Oh gosh, this is ours. Okay. I think we did really well.
Terrible.
Okay, you talk first, and then I'll. So.
All right. Who is your Galaxy dude? That's the worst mon I've ever seen.
Is that it?
You think it's good, but it gets destroyed by every mon. Everything hits it super effective. Look at your team that switch. Garchomp Earthquakes, Necrozma breaks it in half. Torina's gonna nuke it.
I think Dragazi specifically, yes.
Yeah.
That's not what those. It is not meant for those mons. You are correct.
Okay.
I will say we're playing Rillaboom Zeraora this week, and it's doing pretty well for that. So.
Okay. First 3 mons, they look a little frail. It's missing that like legendary, you know.
Mew.
Okay. You got like.
It's not on you too, but.
Big.
Hmm?
He's like a fat Kyurem there.
Guess what we got sniped of? Kyurem.
What?
We got.
I like Keldeo.
Keldeo makes a lot of sense here. Yeah, we got sniped of Kyurem.
Vikavolt, I hate using Vikavolt, but I can't disrespect it. It's a really good mon. Blackie, you got a Blackie, I guess. Yeah, it's just a.
It's okay, right? Yeah, it's not great. It's definitely my least favorite team. I'm never touching this.
Sword Shield 2.
Yeah.
I love this team. Garchomp, Necrozma, Cinderace, 3 great mons. Torina's a great mon. Scabablu.
Let me just say Scab you don't normally like because of the fact that it's like not Stealth Rocker and like it has weaknesses. But look at the fire switches on this team and look at the Stealth Rockers on this team.
Okay, tell me why is Scabler 8 points but Caparaja is 7?
We were talking about getting Caparaja or Scavalier. We had the option. We chose for a Scavalier because knockoff is definitely preferable. Close combat's a pretty big ad for it. And you're gonna see this week. I'm expecting the Scav to pop off this week. You'll see it.
Okay.
But that's irrespective. That's just this week. But overall, this team.
What about Spec Attack? Is Scav over Spec Attack?
I was trying to get Stack Attack. I was. People weren't about it, but I was literally for this team. I was like, let's get Stack Attack, and they didn't want it. Anyway.
Stack Attack is so good, dude.
I know.
It's so good in Sword and Shield.
I think it's really good, but it's okay. Anyway, what do you think? This team really good?
It's really good. Just another skill type over a Scavenger and.
Well, tell me why. Well, give me an actual reason why. Because I think on other circumstances, I understand it doesn't do all the roles. But as far as this team's concerned, we have the fire switches.
Yes. Okay,
we have
this team's concerned, it's fine.
We have Stealth Rockers. We have Skull Switchins. We have Fire Resist. Like I think as far as and we need the knockoff. I think as far as this team, the Scavalier is a great fit.
It's fine, yeah.
So I'm biased, but I think this is our best. This is probably a really good team for us, and one of the potentially a top 5 team, if not top 3.
It's not.
I'm biased though.
Okay, I can see how we put it in words, but I wouldn't say it's top team because it's not aesthetically pleasing to look at. Like Electabuzz, what is that supposed to do?
Electabuzz is our torn Cell Stealer check. I think. We kind of lose for that.
So. What about Sword Shield 3? Let's talk about Sword Shield 3.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of that. I am very pissed off. So this is the one where we got sniped to Dragonite.
Yeah.
We wanted Dragonite over Komo. Dude, look how good Dragonite would have been on this team. Holy crap. It would have been amazing. Anyway, great. I mean, you love Crocodile. Look at that round 2 Crocodile. Because we were planning on Dragonite. That's why we got round 2 Crocodile.
Yeah.
I think it's a really solid team. I think we're having a lot of trouble with this week because of the we had a lot of trouble because of the matchup. But I think
Only Wings is Charizard though.
only Wings is we have Tangela though. It's a good ground switching. Yeah, Wings was a problem. That's why we went Dragonite.
Yeah.
We got that's definitely the roughest part of this draft. Like without a doubt, the Wings are a little questionable. But it could have been a lot better. It was really annoying that we got sniped. But yeah, it's okay. I think it's okay. I think Coco into Crook into Komo into Gengar teleport Gengar. Caparaj is also another physical wall breaker. I think he has some tools.
Yeah, nice offense on the team. I like it.
I think it's an average to above average team. I'd say.
Average. What I say above average?
You wouldn't say above
Because
average?
I don't like Coco and Sword Shield.
Coco's so good, dude. Coco's so good in Sword and Shield, man.
You think so?
Oh my god, because dude, boots with U-turn, that's it. You
Yeah.
can infinitely scout. Like there's no punishment whatsoever for learning about how your opponent plays. Like the ability, it's less about like, oh, this mon kills things. It's the ability to gain knowledge about how your opponent plays without losing anything of value. And especially with like Slow King of like Regenerator Teleport and Crocodile pivoting. I wish we had more pivots, honestly. With Dragonite would have been ideal. But yeah, like I think Coco's amazing. But
Alright, I'll give you that. So
but
at least I'm looking.
I would say above. I personally say above average. I'm not gonna go above average, but I'd say maybe barely above average. Okay, last team. Celestial, Zeraora. Okay, so like, remember this is what we were describing before. The first 4, it was Coco over Zera. How do you think we wrapped up? It's definitely some interesting mons, right? But
I don't like Rapidash.
so objectively, Rapidash is for speed tier and for cure and response. It can be
Yeah, I
cure.
can see you need an ice resist.
It's just low. It's like low kick, Morning Sun type, toxic, whatever.
What is Heracross doing again?
So Heracross is the Lycanroc, server on this team, where instead it comes in on a Swampert flip turn. And also, dude, we were looking at our week 2 matchups without going too much into it. We're just like, what is their Heracross? Like Heracross, because you're talking about Machamp, right? Like I remember you trying to like flex the Machamp, right? Heracross is a little bit of a better speed tier, but it has the coverage to beat the psychic types that would normally traditionally beat it. So like it's actually really tough to switch into Heracross if you give it the right support. And
Heracross is 1 tier above Machamp.
And I think we give it the right support with flip turn and U-turn on Hydreigon and Comfy. Enough support, I'd say.
Yeah, it's very similar to
Kyurem.
Oregon's Sword Shield team.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Kyurem in the sense you need like momentum to bring it in. I should say. I like this team a lot too. I think these Sword Shield 3 and Sword Shield 4 are both average teams. I think Sword Shield 2 is definitely like borderline elite. I think overall, I mean, you tell me first where you think we rank. I have an idea, but you tell me.
I would say like 3rd.
I was gonna say third too. I think those 2 teams that we went through, just like they have no issues like with their matchups and whatever. Like they can easily like find a way of working around where they don't want to bring one team. They have 3 excellent other teams. I think we have 3 really good teams, and just Sword and Shield 1 is just going to be the problem child for a little bit. I still think I do see us bringing it. It does have its matchups for sure, but 2, 3, and 4 are very solid. So I would say 3rd is accurate for us. I'd say. Are we almost done? Yes. Okay, last one. Okay.
Alright, Florida, man.
Florida.
Look at this Sword Shield 1 team. Where is the Dolomite switch?
The Delma switch. I saw Shifu. I got scared for a second. Where is the skull switching? I guess Slowking?
Yeah, Lantern. Boo.
No.
Where's the Ghost resist? Spectra will tear this team up. Gengar will tear this team up.
I mean, Morgrim, I think, beats it.
You're bringing a Morgrim, dude?
Versus Spectrier, yes. I would absolutely bring. I would 100% bring Rest, Sleep Talk, Thunderwave, Spirit Breakers, some other crap, and
Yeah.
it would come.
Yeah, I'm not bringing your Morgrim, dude. The worst mon I've ever seen.
It's tough, but it would probably come in that matchup and nothing else. Double Water.
They're not like Egg Slash plus Slow King. They do the same role. They're both steel types. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
there's special attacking steel types that beat fairies and lose to
Yeah.
darks.
And
So
Graham.
and ground. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
And
Yeah,
Ghost.
I would say yeah they both are mons that like look interesting. Also, mono stealth rocker. I mean, they do have Cinderace. You don't want to run court change all the time,
Mono Stealth Landers. Wow.
but they do have Cinderace. You can get away with that, but you don't want to rely on that. Like you want optionality.
It's the worst way I've seen so far.
Really? I wouldn't say it's that bad.
You know what? D plus because that's smoking on it.
I'd say there's definitely some components that are interesting. I think Bulu Cinderace is a good pairing to like free up each other. I think I think if you make Aegislash a different steel, I mean they have a sensational fire water grass core. Also they have Lando Eye on a terrain team. What are they going to be clicking with Lando? Earthquake? No, this is not looking too hot. This is definitely at best average, but probably below average.
Yeah.
I'd say probably below average, to be honest. I hate to do that because they have a lot of cool mons and a lot of mons that viable
But how do you rate Urshifu? We haven't really seen Urshifu used before.
in draft. Yeah, no. I mean, it's just like when you know it's coming, you just know the pads are coming. You just know like it's gonna be a pads versus helmet versus all that stuff. Also, I keep saying this, but it's worth mentioning. They have no knockoff, and on this team, it's really important because you need to knock off the helmet so that Urshifu doesn't have to run pads. So that's another flaw.
Gets knocked up.
It does, but like, are you running? I mean, it's not ideal. It does. It gets knockoff, but you don't really want to be running knockoff all the time. I'd say just because of that, I didn't see that. I'd say below average. That got me to convince me to say below average for this team. Two.
Got a Kira.
It's got to cure him, and they have decent ways of bringing it in. How did they get round 5 slow, bro? What the hell? Damn.
Yeah, I like dude the first. The first 5 months? So good, dude.
Drapion, I feel like they could have definitely done. I understand they had a lot of holes to fill. I get that, but I wonder if they could have maybe patched up with like a Vile Plume and then like some other dark, like a Moltres or something, and then that might have been better. But
Yeah, maybe just throw it on there.
but I guess they didn't have knockoffs, so maybe they wanted a good knockoff user. T Spikes, I guess. I still think Vile Plume would have been better on this team, but it's okay. Or Roselia.
The first 5 doesn't matter with the last month.
Or Roselia. I mean, or Roselia.
You know.
Roselia would have been nice on this team with some spikes.
Oh yeah, Roselia, Blue, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, first 5 are just phenomenal. Yeah, I remember we were this team was like starting out, like the first 4, and like this team caught my eye. I'm like, how the fuck are we supposed to beat this team? like damn, that's so much. I mean, Keldeo was a threat to it, but then they brought the Slowbro, so then like damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a really good team. I'm curious to see how it works out. I think it's a very
I'm curious to see that Bufla in action.
yeah, that's never coming. But I'd say it could. Yeah, why would it come? It's only appeal over other normals. It's like Sap Zipper, but it has like this team has like
Okay, you
millions.
got soundproof for the
Toxicity,
Mega Guard Force, dude.
toxicity.
Yeah, for the top.
I don't think we've seen a toxicity though.
Yeah.
Good team though. First, I think. I mean, it's tough because I understand what they had to go through. I do think they could have optimized their last 3 a little bit more. I think. Oh, I guess I'm looking right now. Vileplume is gone, like right here. So maybe they could have gotten Vileplume. But no, they could have. No, they could have gotten it. They could have gotten it because it was the second round. So they should have gotten it. Now they can't. Anyway, yeah, it's really good team. Really freaking good team. Top 5 to 7, I'd say. Top 5. They have good momentum. Maybe defensively. No, that's a good team. That's a good team. I'd say no. I'd say top 5.
Top 10 team.
I'd say top 5. I say top 5. Yeah, I can give it to them. I think this is a really solid team. Okay.
Gems, not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, Lando Slowbro, and we talked about it. He trans nice Spadef. Maybe the Spadef could be a little bit better.
Yeah, that's big. Maybe a Slow King would have been better, dude.
Maybe a Slow King would have been better. Yeah, but overall, yeah, I think Slow King would have been better. But that's okay. I'd give it that okay. I'm gonna bump that down to top 7 because of that. I think Spadef's a little scary, but top 7 is still really good. What the fuck is a Grap Locked? Because I'm looking at Sword and Shield 3, and so this team has like
I like it.
yeah, it has yeah. What's the? I guess triple fly.
Very top
It
heavy.
has a lot of wings, which I know you like.
Yeah.
3
You
wings.
just break the top-heavy first 6, and that's it, dude. You never bring the Munchlax unless you're against Spectrier. You never bring grapple. Like the top 6 is all you need. Corviknight Toad.
Corviknight Toad's a good defensive core, yeah.
You beats everything. Weavile beats everything.
Beats anything.
Anything, man. And the Dundee Eye, dude. This team's perfect. Like, who cares about the bottom ones? They're worthless. You're never gonna bring them anyway.
Let me think. I think they lack good special breakers and not. Oh no, they're Weavile. Yeah, they lack good. They have Dundee, but yeah, it's a good special breaker. It just with the problem. That's why it's like lower rank this gen with boots. Is that it's kind of like more of like a here's my switch and let me knock it off in U-turn versus like let me nasty plot and sweep kind of thing.
You can do whatever it wants.
And it's just because it gets walled by certain things, and you can kind of predict its coverage. It's still good though. It's still threatening.
You and Dragonite, those monsters can do what?
But like immediate damage more so. Like I can't run a Specs mod on this team, you know, like or Banded. I mean, Banded you can run Banded, but like either one you're kind of forced. You're kind of forced to run.
Set up. Every mon can set up besides Toad.
Every mon can set up, which is cool. The problem is you don't want every mon to be able to set up. You want like a couple mons to set up and a couple mons to like break immediately.
No, that's fine, dude.
But I won't call this team top 5. Honestly, I don't think I would. I'd say it's like above average.
Yeah, we've seen better teams, but this team is just very good. I like it.
I mean, yeah. You don't want to get influenced by the fact that like you see 6 months that are really good and they're like, oh my god, it's amazing. I mean, that means that you know what 6 they're bringing every week, and that's.
But they're never bringing grapple up.
Right, they're never bringing grapple up, and they're probably never bringing Munchlax. So like it puts them at a disadvantage to like for a fact that like they're bringing 6 mons.
But you don't know what pure Dragonite they're gonna run.
You don't know what Dragonite they're gonna run, but you know at least like the coverage that you need. You don't have to worry about I gotta knock off the Munchlax Eviolite or whatever. You just like ignore it, whatever. So I'd say above average at best.
Yeah.
I don't like Mew, so that's like part of my influence. All right, last team. They got momentum on deck. Okay, so here's the thing. They have momentum on deck. The problem is they don't have the abusers to really exploit it. They have Cinderace, Tornadus, Slowbro, and Silvally. Great momentum, amazing momentum. But you have a Melmetal who's good, but like you need a complementary special breaker alongside it. You know what I mean?
Those pairs team up. You gotta run like Silvally route.
I think a Kyurem would have been really cool here. I think obviously every team can't have a Kyurem. Or Alakazam could have been pretty cool too.
Kadabra, what are you talking about?
Oh, I guess they had double psychic already.
Don't discount Kadabra, dude. That's a 5-point mon for 1 point.
Yeah. Special attackers. I'm trying to think of other special attackers like something random like a Toxtricity or something would have been really cool here. You know, like something that Toxtricity would have been pretty cool here. Because they don't have a poison type either, so or an electric type. Toxtricity would have been a really good fit here.
They have every type. They got Silvally.
I don't think they need Silvally. I mean, I get the Spadef, but like, I think if they, advice wouldn't call it. I think if you made Silvally a Toxtricity, and then like got like a Spadef mod over like, I don't know. I guess Crook is nice. It maybe isn't the most critical on this team, but it's nice. I don't know.
Late rounds, though.
They probably could have replaced. They probably could downgrade to Toxtricity with Silvally, and then get like a mod that's like more Spadef oriented than Eldegoss. And then that would have been a little more complete of a team. It's still solid.
Top-heavy team.
Still solid.
I like it.
Still solid. A lot of momentum. I just don't think they have enough to abuse the momentum that they have. You know.
No, momentum's good in general. You don't need that to use it.
It's good, but like you're just kind of at a point where like you're U-turning, but like for what?
Yeah.
Like what are you trying to accomplish? You know, like
that's sort of true.
You're switching it infinitely. I mean, yeah, that's great about it. You don't punish. There's no punishment towards momentum, which is part of the reason why you need breakers. You have to be able to punish the switching. Like that's literally what you said. Why you need breakers? Like you need to punish people switching. So I'd say average to above average because Cinderace Torn. I mean, yeah, they have double speed tier, which is nice but not needed. But they're both rock weak, so. They have Melmetal, so. Alright,
They copied my Kadabra pick.
Okay, so let's see if I can do this in a way that, I'm not planning this, so if this works, it works. If it doesn't work, we're just gonna talk it out. Oh, no, we can't. Okay, we're just gonna so Sword and Shield 4, we're just using this just to see the names of the teams all on one screen. But as far as from what you remember, the worst team. What was the one that like we hated that I thought was the worst one? It was like.
Was it Rose?
Oh yeah, Rose. Rose was like that's pretty clearly the worst. Just because like I'm going through the rest of them, they're all like, oh, they're solid, they're above average. Like Rose is the only one where I was like, that was not good. So yeah, Rose is definitely Rose is definitely the worst Sword and Shield, like no question. As far as I mean, it's tough. Yeah, I don't want to give anything seventh place, right? But like, I hate to say it's Wumbo, but like, your guys might be kind of down there. Your Sword and Shield might be a little bit down there. I'm not gonna say seventh place. I wouldn't call it seventh place. I'd say.
Put me at sixth place. Come on.
I'll put you at sixth place.
TTT at 7.
I'll put. Okay, that's. Let me make.
TTT
I want to be
is
fair.
like, dude, TTT looks so boring. You got double Zuru, double Heatran,
Let me like get a reminder. I just want to be fair to them.
and they got a Corsola-G, dude. That gave a
Which
minus.
this is TTT, right? Yeah, yeah. We were. Yeah. Upon seeing the rest of the teams. Yeah. Upon seeing the rest of the teams, like I'm just seeing some of like what I remember we talked about.
Dude, I would put Florida Men over Doombreaker.
Say it again.
I would put Florida Men over Doombreaker.
I didn't make them third. I wouldn't. I think it's really close, but I think these two teams are too flawed.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll put Doombreaker over just because they have that stupid egg/team.
Yeah, this one specifically was really flawed. I mean, I don't want to be biased, but I do think we probably had the third best draft behind for the two that we talked about. Let me see if I can bring it back.
Track of Eye and Mystic Kings.
Yeah, both of them had sensational drafts for sure. Mystic Eye and Mystic Kings. Oh, sorry, Trick of Eye and Mystic Kings. I was like, okay, okay. Yeah, so I would put you guys sixth. I'd put TTT seventh. I don't remember why. I want to be fair to them. Why are we putting TTT seventh?
Their drafts are just boring. They got Mudsdale.
No, that's not fair.
Wombology, like.
I mean, yeah, that's a bad pick.
TTT's drafts are very similar to Porygon's. I'll tell you that.
So then this should be ranked similarly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put them there for now. I feel kind of unfair to do it like without like being convinced about it, but so let's put it there for now. Rose Garrison trash. Florida. What are the Florida men? They're fourth, right? We talked about.
They have 3 very good top-heavy teams.
Is Mount Rushmore the one we didn't really talk about as much in the final rankings? Mount Rushmore. Is that which one? Is that
Mount
this?
Rushmore,
Is that this
they
one?
have the Halucha team.
Oh, thank you. Okay, let me find that. Sorry, guys. Halucha. Where are we? I don't know.
Their drafts are average. Put them at like 5th or something.
All right, I can't find it. I remember that. Yeah, the Halucha team I didn't like a lot. I like a lot, and I think there's one other team I was like that. There's no breakers. I think two different teams actually did no breakers. All right, I'll put them at fifth. Okay, so.
You know what? Put them at 7th, dude. What the hell is this?
Can you tell me where they are and what color they are, so I can find them?
Purple, dark purple. They're the second team.
The second team. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that team I didn't like. This team was weird. I didn't like this because it didn't have any breakers. And then this team. This team was good. Team 1 was good. The other 3 I had.
The rest are trash. Put them 7th.
Okay. So then TTT 6th, then you guys 5th?
Yeah. No, put me
6th. Yeah, I want to be fair to you. Yeah, I don't think TTT. I honestly didn't know what the problem was with TTT. I think it was average. It was solid. I just didn't think it was amazing.
Yeah.
But I'll put them 5th. All right, here's the final rankings because we seem to be all over the place. 8th, we have Rose Garrison. Okay, 7th. What was it? Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore was 7, right?
Yeah, because that was the Halucha team, right?
Yeah.
7th. 6th, we got you guys, Porygon Squad. 5th,
5th,
TTT. 4th, did we talk about 4th?
4th is you.
No, we were 3rd, right? Oh, we were Florida Men, yeah. We were talking about 4, yeah. 3rd is Doom, then Mystic. Oh, so who's best?
Yeah, who's the best team, bro? I would say
Here, let's compare one. I think this is an important thing. This will be the last part of the video, obviously. Let's do this fair. So where am I looking?
Blue, Mystic King, and Dark Blue, Trick of Eye.
Okay, so blue versus blue. I don't see the names on this format. This is yeah. So this is one of the teams. This is right. Yeah, because they have the Cortana team. Okay, so I'm in love with their team too, but the rest of them are kind of awkward to me. Like they're good, but like, is this team is 2 really? Is it? Am I looking at the right thing?
Yeah, it's a.
Because this team has no physical breakers, and this team,
Which one?
Sword and Shield 3,
Team 3.
no physical breakers here, and no knockoff really at all. Collectible doesn't count. And 4 felt awkward to me. Mono Rocker, Needle King, and 1, I think Dragonite is like a misfit here. Double A, kind of Ice Weak. This team, I mean, this team is that they're 2. I mean, I'm gonna say, what was the other team we saw? Trick of Eye. I'm gonna put them at 1. I think they, because they're the.
Okay, but look at Trick of Eye's their stupid. Look at their stupid Zoro.
I mean, that team's not that great, but 2 is really solid.
Alright, fine. Put Trick of Eye first, just because they don't have an objectively bad draft. They'll have a good draft.
I think it's fair. I mean, I don't have a problem calling theirs number 1. I think they deserve it, considering like they have great minds on it, and there's potentially things we're not considering. So okay, so those are our rankings. That is the video. I hope recording worked. We're gonna find out after.
Next time we're gonna do Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yes, stay tuned. Like, subscribe, comment. Question of the day. Wombo, do you have a question of the day for your comment section?
Yeah. The question is, what's your opinion on wings?
Yes. Are wings good? Chicken wings, airplane wings, pelicans have wings, I think.
Yeah.
So, wings. Wings. There's a lot of 3-wing teams. A lot of 3 teams with 3 types of flying types. So very interesting to see. But it probably works because all the Earthquakers and stuff. So yeah, awesome. All right, thank you, Wombo, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye bye.